us many times as we pass through life, we get into a state where we start to feel the difficulties of the day-to-day existence overtake our being. Things happen that we don't expect them to happen. We as human beings always like those things to happen which we like, which we would want to happen. But then, life does bring times when difficulties come in. And sometimes the difficulties, whether they be in our physical arenas or, with people in our neighborhood or something happening in our communities or someone who we're very close to having difficulties or financial situations, sometimes it looks like they just are piling up one after another. And one starts to feel whether there'll be a chance or time when we will be away from them. And many times when we try our best not to be in a difficult stage and find ourselves still to be in a difficult stage, negativity starts to come into our life. We all think we're good people. No one thinks they are bad. It's only other people who think we are bad. We all think we are good. And so we question ourselves, how can good people have bad things happen to them? And then we start to look at how do we get to a state which would be good. So when we look back at history, we find that time and time again, and in all walks of life, in all faiths, in all traditions, the guidance be to be positive, to not let the difficulty of the time overtake our being, and just to know that that difficult period will pass away too. And when we are positive, and when we do connect with the positive energies within ourselves, then the strength to pass through a difficult phase of our life will come to us. There's a very interesting story about a woman, a younger woman, who got sick. And when she got sick, generally, you go to a doctor and do your testing, and they're testing. And the doctors came to the conclusion that she had cancer. And they also felt that that cancer was a very fast-moving cancer. And they felt that she might not be able to survive. And that the only way for them seemed like they wanted to open her up and take out the area that they thought was cancerous. So the doctors tell the young woman, and then they get her ready for the operation. And when she's talking to the people in the operation, she looks at them. All of their faces are very sad because in their own minds they think that she's going to be passing away very quickly. She won't be there for too long, and they didn't know how the cancer was affecting her. But she instead seemed very happy, and she told them, "Why are you so sad?" And they said, "Nothing, because what do you say in a situation like that?" And she said, "Okay, don't feel bad about me. I know that you think that I'm going to die, but I'm not going to die." So they thought to them, they asked her, "How do you know you're not going to die?" She said, "I had a meeting with God yesterday. And God said, I have other plans for you." They're thinking themselves, this lady is, very positive. She's saying, "I had a meeting with God." And she said, nothing's going to happen to her. And, they gave her the anesthesia, and they opened her up. And when they opened her up, but things were worse than they thought. The cancer had spread so much that they could not even take some part out because it did not make any sense of the cancer that spread too much. So they closed her up. So when they closed her up, and when she recovered, they with great difficulty told her that she only has 3 to 6 months to live. And they said, we suggest that you rest a lot, because if you don't get the rest, then you will pass away even quicker than that. So she told them, no, I don't want to rest. If I only have 3 to 6 months, I want to do what I really wanted to do in life. She said, I heard Switzerland is a beautiful place. I want to go there before I die. Because everyone say that Switzerland is like heaven. So she said, I want to check the other heaven out and see if they're really the same. And they said that she convinced the doctors to be able to travel, because doctors did not want her to travel at all. And so she got in a wheelchair. They took her to the airport. They sent an attendant with her. Her family must have arranged that. And she goes on the trip to Switzerland. And the attendant's taking her to all the places and taking her here and taking her there. And she's enjoying, the Alps and everything else that is out there. And then she comes back. She comes to the hospital. And, she's going to see the doctors, and they are shocked to see that she's not in a wheelchair, she's walking. They could not believe what they saw. And as the story is told, that this young woman did not live only for 6 months, she lived for many, many years after that. And the doctors started to wonder, what is it that she did? And then they realized the positive energies and the positive outlook of life that she had, which made her overcome the physical difficulty which is on being. And today there's so much research on it. Doctors and scientists are doing so much research as to how positivity affects us, what happens in our system as we have positive thoughts, and all that gets into our system. When our outlook is positive, when we do positive things, when we care about people, and when we try to help others, that it physically helps us. And as you start to dig into it, why does it help us physically? You realize that as we start to think positively, as our words are positive, as our actions are positive, what have we done? We've created an atmosphere which is more positive. Just like, doctors telling you, when you smile and when you laugh, more of the structure of the face gets much more energy than it is when you frown. Okay? And it is in much better shape for us to be smiling and to be laughing. And so similarly, when we have positive thought, words and deeds, then at the level of who we truly are, which is at the level of our spirit or at the level of our soul, there's a healing that happens in our soul. And it is this positivity which we find in the lives of great saints and mystics. You can read the life of any one of them. And many of them came in all kinds of tradition, all kinds of faiths, in all kinds of times. That they want us to do well. They want us to know God. They want us to fulfill the very purpose for which we are here. They know that being in the human body is a great opportunity to know the Creator. And this is why, if you go to the depths of any faith, sitting in silence is one of the main things that is talked about. And as we start to sit in silence, which is what meditation is all about, or which is what praying with attention is all about, then we are able to connect with the source which heals everything. God the Creator is not on the outside. God the Creator is with each and every one of us, irrespective of our faith, irrespective of the color of our skin, irrespective of what our beliefs are, irrespective of where we come from.